All right, we're here in Guam basketball with Morgan Aiken, first Guam resident to go pro, came back and now is running a business with, based around the game that he loves so much. So, Coach, thanks for having me here, man.
Thank you, Jason, for having me, and glad to be able to do something like this, and I'm glad you were able to kind of stop by and, kind of get some footages.
Now, as athletes, we always say, what if I was to actually make the game I love so much like my livelihood? I mean, you were actually making money as a pro playing basketball, but you came back, you've actually formed a company, you've got merch, you sell products and everything like that, but you run camps, you run clinics and everything. You created an entire ecosystem around the game and everything like that. So as a businessman, what was your thought process when you wanted to actually make this your livelihood?
So with basketball, obviously I wanted to try to make the NBA. That was like a far-fetched dream, but as a child, I feel like everybody's dream is to go professionally. But my main focus was actually just in developing my basketball skills, whether it was like playing at St. Paul in high school, getting a couple college offers to going to pro. Like, I never was trying to think too far ahead. It was just, what am I doing now? And that kind of led me to where I am today. But now, after I retired, this is definitely something I wanted to do as I was planning to retire. And going into my last season, I already kind of made up my mind that I was going to retire. So it was just game planning on, when I get back, how can I build a culture that I would want to be a part of, with developing kids and helping them grow. And a lot of our lessons that we do, it's, as much as we teach it from a basketball standpoint, it's a lot of the lessons that you could take off the court too. As much as we focus on, okay, we got to be able to shoot, we got to dribble, but it's, can you be resilient? If you miss a shot, you airball a shot. We see a lot of our kids kind of hang their heads, but it's about, okay, well, next shot mentality. If you lose a game, okay, next game, let me try to do my best. And from there, that kind of turned into a business. But for me, I just play the game that I love. Now I'm able to train and coach kids with the game that I love, and it's just trying to help the community out.
And I know, so you're not just doing developmental work with these little kids behind you who are just picking up the game and really starting to come into their own as players, but we've got national team players that come back here and train when they visit, like Takumi Simon comes back and trains with you guys and everything. So players at all levels. I saw the Team Guam 3-on-3 team comes in here and works out and everything like that. So how do you actually get the different levels to be their best here? And what is the attitude of grind?
So I really try to, as a player, I was always about film and studying. And even as a trainer and coach now, I do watch a lot of film, see other coaches, just so I could continue to increase my knowledge of the game. So when athletes come back from all levels, I'm able to push and motivate and teach them at the same time, because I'm a firm believer you can never stop learning. Yep. And I feel like that's the beauty of basketball too, where you feel like you know enough, and then you speak to another player or coach, and they're able to teach you a lot more lessons, more awareness of offense, defense, where to be, how to move. Yep. And so it's a never-ending process, and I think that's why I really love the game of basketball, where it just never ends.
And you're not just doing this on your own as your own business. You've also joined the Guam Chamber of Commerce, and you've reached out and you've networked with a lot of other business partners in different industries and everything like that to say, I want to be part of the Guam business community, and we're here to make our economy grow and everything. So how important is that for you to bring your skills and your industry and everything and help Guam thrive and help Guam win?
So I'm still young, so I don't know if I bring much to the table as far as the Chamber of Commerce or the Guam Chamber, but I joined just because, kind of like basketball, how I was always open to reaching out to older players, veterans that I met in Japan, coaches that I met in Japan, whether they were my coach or different coaches. So I took that standpoint and I try to implement it through the business side, where if I'm in the chamber, I have other business owners, presidents, CEOs that have years of experience that hopefully I could learn from and implement it into my business, where it would help my business grow, or just help, I feel like, Guam as a community.
And it's kind of like when we're in sports and we cross-train, so say we may learn something from a swimmer or a golfer or exactly. A weightlifter and everything that you can definitely take here and play full court basketball with that knowledge, right?
Yes. Yeah. So it's just same thing. It's obviously I may be one of the few basketball. I don't think there's another basketball coach or trainer necessarily there at the meetings, but I feel like hard work speaks for itself. Yep. And every business owner, president, CEO, they're not in that position just because they woke up and they were just handed. And even if they were, they still have to they have their responsibilities, and they have to manage other people, employees and stuff like that. So just seeing that and being able to be in a room where I could ask questions. And I'm a big I'm always asking questions just so I'm able to learn. Even when I was a basketball player and now as a coach, I feel like obviously you want to learn through experience, but if you could ask someone who's been through it, I feel like you could kind of navigate it a lot faster and just create shortcuts for yourself to learn.
Absolutely.
Okay,
then final question, because now essentially you're the entrepreneur, you're the boss around here. I mean, you're formulating, essentially like your product line, your branding, your attitude, but you've also got to cut checks, you've got to make phone calls, you've got to do all the little administrative stuff, set up the gym, break it down and everything. Do you still get as much time on the court when you can work on your game as a player and as an athlete as well as you do as running a company?
No, I don't train at all anymore. And I think my fiance asked me, like, do you ever miss the game? And I think there'll never be like the proper time where you could kind of step away from the game. But I'm equally as passionate with teaching and helping kids, especially like growing up. Like there were some, like I didn't have the opportunities to like reach out and learn from someone. So like coming back, like I'm equally as passionate. So even though I have stepped away from the game, I don't train, I don't work out. I lost around maybe like 12 to 15 pounds since my playing weight, but
we all know how bouncy you are still, Morgan, man. You can still take guys.
But I am I love what I do, and I'm equally as passionate teaching and coaching as I am like when I used to train and play. So I'm still happy with where I'm at, and I do have a lot more room to grow and a lot more knowledge to obtain, but I'm just happy to be here.